I'll start. The college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man who acknowledges The Godfather Part 3 as nothing short of gospel, who will waste calories on pizza outside of the Eastern time zone, but will never foul up three, mostly because he refuses to play any lick of defense whatsoever. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com. This is March. How are you?
If they hit a three, I'll just hit one right back, baby. That's how I go. We can do it too. I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I think I sort of John Rothstein changed that second one. He used to say just New York City. People are like, "No, you're being an ass."
That's right.
Um, but yeah, this is like we planned this, or we made sure we're both doing this because this is one of our favorite episodes of all time. It's our college football playoff March Madness bracket.
That's right. Yeah, it's completely dumb, gets unhinged very quickly, but it's a great time. And we like to get into the March Madness season. We're a college football podcast, but we do appreciate college sports at large.
Yes, Cody's from Tobacco Road, big North Carolina fan.
Yes.
Georgia's in the tournament, and I like some ACC hoops back in the day when I was a kid.
100%, man. A good North Carolina stat for you. Queens made the tournament as an auto bid this year. I can't remember what conference they won. Doesn't really matter. There's now only one Division I program in North Carolina that's never made the tournament. Basketball means more in Carolina, baby.
Yeah, Georgia and Kennesaw both made it, so that's really
That's
cool.
right.
And
That's right. Shout out
and
to the
Geor-
Owls, man.
yeah, man. And then what? Georgia Tech fired Damon Stoudemire, which is that's sad for us because we he was a hero for us on the Raptors as a kid.
Love David Stoudemire. Not so much Georgia Tech basketball.
And obviously we've all started here. We're gonna get started with our first in 15 day. It's gonna be the first helping of you're a check yourself before you wreck yourself. The way
Mhm.
that we'll do this is we're gonna break this down by weekends. So
Mhm.
the bracket's gonna be half of our show.
Mhm.
So the first segment it's gonna be the first four, round of 64, round of 32. Then it will be Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight, then the Final Four of the National Championship. And we'll see if we learn anything, which is probably not.
We're not going to learn anything, but it's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, and the second half of our show is just going to be dumb stuff. It's going to
That's
be great.
that's right. That's what we're here for. It's the middle of March. What do you want from us?
Just to preface this for everybody out there, we're going to advance teams based solely on what we know about college football.
Yeah.
Like Big East schools, it's a tough day for you. That's okay.
Yeah, y'all are a basketball conference. Don't see this working out for you well in this bracket.
All right, let's get started with our first four. Let's how do you want to do this?
Let's just go in chronological because I got the chronological here. So first up, we got NC State versus Texas, which is going to be a good basketball game. I'm
Mhm.
not sure it'd be a good football game, quite frankly.
A little bit better than I would anticipate because I think we're both high on what Dave Doran and CJ Bailey could do. But obviously, Texas man's advancing. I'm not going to do hook 'em, but like, yes, Texas wins that game based strictly on
100%.
college football.
100%. Yeah. I mean, like NC State's a good team. Texas might. I'm throwing a might in there just for you. Might be a great team. So we'll see what happens there.
There we go.
Then I don't know what we do here. We got Howard versus UNBC, and
Uh,
obviously UNBC has a little bit of March Madness history, but not so much college football history here.
you got a commuter school basically in Maryland, and then you've got like a HBCU school with Howard Bison. I have heard of Howard Bison on the gridiron, so like I think that they'll probably go on and win that 16 seed.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure UNBC has a football team. UNBC
Yeah.
football. Let's do a quick Google. Um, they don't
The
have a
ball,
football team. So yeah, it's
yeah.
just Howard.
I mean, if you want to sub in the Baltimore Ravens, that get really interesting, but no, we're not doing that.
Not yet, at least. We might get there
No.
at some point. A very fun one, I think. Next up in the first four, we got SMU, Miami, Ohio.
That's a really enticing one. We think the world of both Rhett Lashley and Chuck Martin. Obviously, I think you got to go with the power forward team here because
Yeah.
I think they're just a little bit higher end team.
Yeah, I mean, it's not dissimilar to NC State, Texas. It's just one program or one team is just like a little bit higher caliber. And that, it comes down to that. Truly, I don't think one of these programs has a football program. Lehigh versus Prairie View A&M.
They both do, but
Lehigh has a
like,
football program.
dude, they have that big rivalry with like
That's
Lafayette.
right. That's right. Okay, yeah, it's like D3, right?
Yeah,
D2 or D3.
and then Prairie View, I think is kind of a HBCU sort of thing. So they've got
Yeah.
some. Let's give it to Lehigh. They haven't played football for a long
Hell
ass
yeah.
time.
And you know what, man? They beat Duke. So in the
Yeah.
NCAA tournament. Shout out CJ McCollum forever. He's my hero.
He's on the Hawks now, so that's great.
Hell yeah.
And the Lehigh they're trying Jennifer.
That's right. The Lehighs.
The Lehigh knee highs.
That's right. All right. So first four is done. That gets us into the bracket itself.
Let's go. All right, we're gonna work our way what? East, South, West, Midwest, you think?
Yeah, I think just left or right. I think make it, for our sanity, I think that makes the most sense. Do you want to go? Do you want to go like the first weekend of the region before we go into the next region, or do you want to go just straight down first round, and then go to the second round?
I think just keep going straight down.
Okay, works for me. All right, we got Duke versus Siena to kick us off here.
That's gonna be Duke. I don't know if Siena has a football team. That's my cousin's alma mater. Duke won the ACC last year. Duke's having a hell of a time with under Nina King, their AD. She's kicking some serious tail.
She is. I wish them nothing but failure, but yeah, they're winning that one for sure. A very fun one that I think we know who's going to win it, but Ohio State versus TCU. That's actually a good football matchup, more so than it is a basketball matchup.
Uh, Buckeyes are rolling, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It's not real close. I think we got our first upset in the bracket here. 5 seed St. John's against 12 seed Northern Iowa. Dude, the Northern Iowa, you can't sleep on them.
The alma mater of Kurt Warner too,
And
and
David Montgomery. Hell yeah.
David Montgomery. They had somebody else too, who's another running back. God, he played for the Cardinals. David Johnson played there too. Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Not David Montgomery. David Johnson's
Okay.
what I meant. David Montgomery's Iowa State.
Yeah,
That's
we'll talk
I meant.
about
Yeah, I meant David Johnson. They have a receiver that went to Northern Iowa. I can't think of who it is off the top of my head. But regardless, Northern Iowa is advancing, which leads us to Kansas versus California Baptist. I think we gotta go Lance Leipold here.
Yeah, I don't know if Cal Baptist has one, but Kansas has a team that can kind of go to bowl game occasionally, so that's cool for them.
Uh, Next matchup would have been a lot more fun if we were doing it last year. Louisville, South Florida.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jeff Brom here because Brian Hartline, you're so down on, but like this could be a
Also, all
fun
your
game.
good players are playing for Auburn now, so there's that.
Yeah, yeah. The birds with teeth prevail.
This might be the best first round matchup we get.
I agree, man. This is enticing.
Michigan State versus North Dakota State. We think Michigan State could be like dog water, dog s bad. North Dakota State is North Dakota State, quite still.
I do think Pat Fitzgerald helps Sparty out this year because he won at the Big Ten. He won at Northwestern, but North Dakota State's a powerhouse. North Dakota State might win the group of five this year. Group of six.
Yeah, I'm going North Dakota State in this one. I
Yeah,
think so.
as am I. I think this next matchup is really enticing too.
100%. I like when we get some ones that make us think a little bit. UCLA versus UCF.
This is probably the hardest one to pick, I would say. Next one, the one after this is pretty challenging too, to be straight with you.
I mean, these are like not like awful teams, but like definitely like mid or sub mid teams that we're talking about here. And so like it's really hard to like decipher who would win in a matchup between these two.
I would probably lean UCLA because I still think Nico Iamaleava
Hmm.
halfway decent. You have Bob Chesney in there, and then UCF, you got Scott Frost. I don't know how much talent you've got there in Orlando right now.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I would probably lean UCLA, but it's probably closer than you want to admit. Honestly, could be a fun football game, but I think that we is a pretty clear winner. UConn versus Furman. I think UConn probably takes it.
Yeah, Furman's a really strong FCS program. I mean, the shield's my high school's logo with Walton High School. Saw someone wearing a baseball shirt running the other day. I'm like, who are you? What are you doing here?
Why are you here?
But UConn did great things last year with Jim Mora Jr. I think they'll probably continue to be really solid there with Jason Cantley, even though you can't stand him. But they'll be a bowl caliber team probably.
It'll take a couple of years for Jim Mora Jr.'s good work to be undone by Jason Candle.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll
All
give
right.
UConn the edge.
All right. Let's go on to the South.
The South, we've got Florida versus Lehigh. I don't know. I don't really care what you think about John Summerall. Florida's winning this game. Like,
Yeah. I've got nice things to say about John Summerall, and we'll just leave it at that.
as do I. I like you and I are not in the camp not believing in John Summerall. There's still quite a strong contingency that does not believe in that hire, but we'll see who's right in the end.
Yeah. Next game's this is tough. This is
This would be a hilarious football game to actually watch. We got Clemson versus Iowa.
I don't know if they've ever played each other before. I'm just gonna assume that they never have because it's probably one of those weird. They've never crossed over at some point. God, like, what do you have any winning for this? Because I've got nothing.
I think I would go Clemson because I think they know how to functionally play offense. And like I'm without Mark Gronowski, I'm not sure Iowa does.
Yeah, I think Iowa's got the worst quarterback situation in the Big Ten, whereas Christopher Vizina at least had like stars next to his name.
100%. All right, so now we're on to Vanderbilt versus McNeese.
I'd still probably take Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt pulls back, but Vanderbilt's got some. It's the ref and Tarrant dude.
They're also not pulling back to like I don't see them pulling back to Vanderbilt of old. They're still going to be a good team. They're just not going to win 10 games.
This next one's really close.
Yeah, Nebraska versus Troy, which Troy always like clockwork. They're never bad. They're never bad, and Nebraska is one of the most volatile teams in college football.
I'm going Troy, man. I think
Hell yeah, let's go with the upset. I like it.
because I mean they played for their league championship. They got their ass kicked by JMU in a monsoon, but like at least they got there. What's Nebraska done?
Here's what I'm a little worried about. North
uh,
Carolina, VCU.
I don't think VCU even has a football team.
Honestly, that might be better than North Carolina, though. Let's talk this out. North Carolina wins by default, but God, like they're lucky is all I'm gonna say. They're very lucky. They're probably gonna lose that game in basketball if we're being real about
Yeah.
it.
This is a good one too.
Yeah, we got Illinois versus Penn out of the Ivy League. Probably Illinois, I think just a talent advantage, but not a Penn's been a good football team the past couple years.
Yeah, I think the floor is just higher with Illinois. I'd go with the Birds.
This one not close because I'm not sure St. Mary's has a football team, and they're taking on Texas A&M. So even if they did, it's Texas A&M advancing in this one.
100%. It's not close to the next one with Houston versus Idaho. Sorry, Ian Levy. Houston's coming, dude.
Yeah, the Vandals don't really stand a chance on that one, unfortunately.
All right, let's move on up to the West.
Yeah, same with this one. Brent Brennan and Arizona are beating Long Island. I don't think we need to belabor that point.
LAU does have a team, but Arizona's got a good team.
That's right. Villanova versus Utah State. Interesting here, I will say, because
Hmm.
Villanova, solid FCS program. Utah State, bad FBS program right now.
I'd probably go the Aggies. Just I think they got more talent.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's close. A couple years ago, it probably wouldn't have been close, but now we're on Utah State. Then we got Wisconsin versus High Point. Very similar situation in North Carolina here.
Yes.
Wisconsin very much benefits from the draw in this one.
They very much do. I was like, just because High Point, I don't know, has a team, but Wisconsin's powered too. Come on, but like they're awful.
I still think that would be like if they were a 3-9 team, that's one of the three right there.
This next one I wish was an actual game they'd play.
100
Arkansas versus Hawaii.
the culture war. Yeah. I think you gotta go Arkansas with a slight edge, but like I think it's probably closer than it should be.
Yeah, I think Silverfield's a more accomplished head coach. Because
Yeah.
I could go either way, but if you think that's the deciding factor, I'd go there with the Hogs.
Yeah, I think it's the Hogs, but in a closer game than you expect. BYU versus Texas, which is a football game I would actually really want to see in 2026, if we're being honest.
It's a very close game. I would still probably go Texas.
Yeah, I think we still got to go Texas in that one. Beneficial upset here. We got Kennesaw State versus Gonzaga.
Yeah, Kennesaw State's having a time, man. They won CUSA and they won in both football and in basketball, so they're having a good time, dude.
Hell yeah, the Owls are just rolling. It's a good time to be an Owl. Is it a good time to be a Missouri Tiger? Probably not, because you're playing Miami in the first round.
Yeah, they're gonna do unspeakable things to that tiger. It's just tell me the tiger's gonna just like cry like the Native American, just like this is just sad.
They're littering all over Como. It's terrible.
Do you know if Queens has a football team?
I would venture to say no, but I don't know that for a fact. With Queens football, um, oh my God, nope. That's the Queen's University in Canada. I don't believe so. No, they do not.
You know what, Barry Odom, here you go. You get a win.
There
You're
we
moving
go.
on.
Proud of you, Purdue.
All
Proud
right,
of you.
moving on to the Midwest region. We got Michigan versus Howard.
Yeah, I think that's go blue right there.
Yeah. Next up, we got my alma mater versus something that's I don't know how to spell a Billiken. I don't know what it is, but Georgia's going to win that game.
It's a thing, and Georgia's beating that thing for sure.
All right.
We got Texas Tech versus Akron in the next one. Wonder who's going to take this one.
Yeah, put that one behind a paywall there to protect the young. Vince Narron is doing cartwheels in the streets, man, because the Red Raiders are going guns up, brother.
They're zipping up the zips for sure, man. And I don't know if Hofstra has a football team, but Alabama's probably going to beat them if they do.
They used to, and they don't anymore. I think Raheem Morris killed them. So Alabama moves on.
As one does. We've got Tennessee versus SMU, which interesting game for sure. I might go SMU in this one.
As would I. I think Kevin Jennings is better. I think honestly, I think Rhett Lash is a better coach than Josh Apple.
I think that's honestly where I came down to. I think those two teams are pretty even talent wise, and I think that Brett Lashley's going to have a better game plan if they were to match up. Uh, Virginia versus Wright State. Again, we do Tony Romo levels of prep for this. We don't
Yes,
know exactly which some of these teams, but I'm confident that if Wright State has a team, Virginia is better than it.
I would agree. Virginia moves on.
Kentucky versus Santa Clara. Will Stein. Hell yeah. Moving on, brother. Proud of you, man.
I don't know if Santa Clara is a football team, but that's okay.
I know that's why they're moving on. Iowa State versus Tennessee State.
I would still go Iowa State. I do like Jimmy Rogers.
Mhm.
Tennessee State. I wonder what level the program's at since what Eddie George left to go take over Bowling Green. So
Yeah. I mean, but it's definitely like Iowa State, new era without Matt Campbell, but like you're moving on to new like you still have that infrastructure in place. Like I feel like that's not gonna like
mhm.
crater by any stretch of the imagination.
All right, we made it through. We made it through a round of 64. That's so good.
We're doing great, man. Duke versus Ohio State in the East region, back up to the top of the bracket.
I think you're happy Ohio State moves on.
Yeah, they win by 40.
I don't think Duke might give them like a game for like a minute and then they lose.
Yeah, 100%. Arthur Smith just eating their souls.
Yeah.
Next one, honestly, I this is a fun one. Kansas versus Northern Iowa. A lot of
I
corn. A lot of
lot
corn.
a lot of corn, a lot of wheat, a lot of grain. Um, I gotta go Kansas here,
Yeah,
man. I
I
think
think it's Kansas, but I just respect Lance Leipold as a coach too much to
all
think
right.
anything less. Louisville, North Dakota State, another very interesting one. But I think we probably go Brom here. Just like
Yeah,
I think with Brom at a P4 school, the baseline is just so high.
100%. Then we got a really interesting one here, and we're gonna figure this one out. UCLA versus UConn.
Yeah, that's if I would I'll tell you where I'm at. I would probably go UCLA just because I worry about UConn in a post Jim Mora Jr. world. And like not just like even if it wasn't Jason Candle, if it was another coach, like I still think I would worry because I think Jim Mora Jr. found a formula that let's not forget it took him a while to figure out at UConn, and that UConn has been bad at football for a very long time.
So the best part is someone's gonna win the Jim Mora Junior Bowl because he coached both these places.
That's right. It's a big game for the Mora Jr. family.
And the sissy blue shirts, they move on. It goes UCLA.
That's right. Florida versus Clemson, which is a really interesting game.
I'm pretty high in Florida this year, but I
Yeah.
also like they gotta clean they gotta get out of that hole here. Whereas I think like their ceiling is Clemson's floor.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. I was going to say, like, I think Clemson's baseline is just higher than Florida. So, like, I think if you play this matchup like 10 times, Florida maybe wins three, but the majority is definitely going Clemson's way.
I think that probably applies the same with the next game with Vanderbilt and Troy.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Troy could probably clip Vanderbilt, but I think, like, Clark Lee has raised that floor quite a bit at Vandy.
Vandy moves on. All right.
Illinois by a billion. Illinois by a billion over North Carolina.
He's gonna turn Bill Belichick into meatloaf.
Bill Belichick can't coach football. Do you think he's going to be able to do it in a
No.
March Madness bracket? No, absolutely not.
And then we
Uh,
got a pretty good one here with Texas A&M and Houston.
Connor Wegman, the Connor Wegman rematch game.
The Wegman Selman special. Let's go.
That's right.
I think A&M is going to be really good this year, so I'm kind of leaning towards them.
Yeah, A&M's a college football playoff contender, whereas
Yeah,
Houston is like a good Big 12 team. There's a difference
yeah.
there.
All right. Next west side of the bracket, round of 32.
And a real West Coast matchup, Arizona versus Utah State, or I guess Southwest, whatever. But I think we got to go Arizona here.
Yeah, they're going to conquer the four corners with the short king Noah Fifita one more
That's right.
time.
That's a point guard if I've ever seen it, brother.
And we got the Brett Bielema Bowl coming up here next.
That's right. Wisconsin versus Arkansas. Both these teams are ass.
What a sad bag of crap this game is.
I mean, do you want to go Arkansas because they're not coached by Luke Fickle?
I think, you know what? That's probably the biggest difference because I think Silverfield's at least like shown he can. I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't in good faith put Luke Fickle in Sweet 16.
That's what that honestly, that's truly like I don't think Arkansas is any good. And but I think that they're probably like more promising than Wisconsin.
And I'll say this: Hawaii got a bad matchup.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like you had to play an SEC team. Like that's just tough
You,
for you.
you could have been the Brennan Cousins Bowl, man.
That's right. This one might get out of hand. Texas versus Kennesaw State.
Yeah. That's yeah. The Owls they're gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, 100%. They're not just nocturnal, they're narcoleptic as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone who wishes he was narcoleptic, that's Barry Odom because Miami's got to play Purdue, and don't see that working out well for the Boilermakers.
There's a non-zero chance that Mario Cristobal saw a wicket and he thinks Barry Odom's the Tin Man.
He comes out with an oil can, get him good and greased up.
All right, man. That is, and then let's move on down to the Midwest.
Yeah, some
Michigan
heavy
versus
hitters. Yeah,
Michigan versus Georgia. I mean, if they play each other in basketball, the Wolverines are going to skull drag Georgia, but I think Georgia's probably going to skull drag Michigan here.
yeah, 100%. Georgia's the better football team. I think pretty clearly here. Honestly, this Midwest region's a lot of fun. I like this a lot. Texas Tech versus Alabama in the next game.
Could be a playoff game next year potentially. I'd probably go Texas Tech. I think that they have a better identity right now.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I've made my thoughts very clear on Alabama. Like I need to see it before I believe it at this point with Kalen DeBoer, like on whether or not they are Alabama that deserves the respect of the name on the helmet. An ACC matchup here, SMU and Virginia. I'm probably going SMU, but by a hair.
It's very, very close. I frankly, if Miami doesn't get to the ACC championship, I'd love to see this be the ACC championship game.
100. I think this would be a phenomenal game, and like using the play 10 times analogy, like I think this one's probably closer to 6-4 SMU in my
Mhm.
opinion. Like it's a very close one there. Kentucky, Iowa State. God, I don't know what to do with this one.
That is
I mean, it's like it's very big transitions for both of these programs, and I don't know where either of them. I would honestly, just based on this offseason, I would probably lean Kentucky just slightly more simply because I think they brought in more talent, whereas I think we saw a lot of mass departures from Iowa State.
that's where I'm leaning there too. I think Jimmy Rogers is a good head coach and everything like that. We don't know what Will Stein is, but like you're at the higher ceiling program right now. You didn't lose as much, so I would probably go Kentucky there.
100%. So that get our Sweet 16 is set, brother.
All right, so our Sweet 16. We're gonna do the timestamp right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, our Sweet 16 thus far, we've got Ohio State, Kansas, Louisville, UCLA, Clemson, Vanderbilt, Illinois, Texas A&M, Arizona, Arkansas, Texas, Miami, Georgia, Texas Tech, SMU, and Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yeah.
We have a lot of ones from like the hash ones, like the 11 seats.
100. Well, I mean, like, it's all these schools that play in power conferences like SMU and Texas that, like, are not like quite reaching their ceiling in terms of basketball, but like in terms of football, like their athletic programs at large are moving in a very good direction.
All right, let's get started. Number 8 seed Ohio State versus number 4 seed Kansas.
Yeah, rock chalk
Yeah.
stops here. Ohio State by a lot.
Yeah, that's gonna be like Ohio State playing Maryland. That's what it's gonna look like.
Yes, 100%.
And the next game is gonna be really ugly, really bad. Louisville versus UCLA. I gotta go the birds with teeth, man. They're gonna crush them.
Yeah, like UCLA had a nice little run to get here, but that was a lot about matchups, and Louisville's a
Yeah,
different beast.
100%. Moving on down, Clemson versus Vanderbilt. Another good matchup.
I would, God, this is tough because at this point, I might trust Clark Lee as a coach in this era of college football more than I do Dabo. But I also think that Clemson's talent overall is just a little bit superior. So I'd probably give Clemson the edge here.
As would I. I think they've just been higher and for longer, and that matters.
100%. Uh, I honestly a fun one. I think it's a clear winner, but it would still be a fun football game that I would watch. Illinois, Texas A&M.
Yeah, the thumbs up here, man. That's gonna yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we've seen Illinois in big games against like college football playoff caliber opponents, and it doesn't end well.
Always in the same thing with Texas A&M, but it still ends well, but that one time.
But they're the college football caliber opponent now, so like they flipped the script a little bit.
All right, we got what's it?
Arizona, Arkansas,
uh,
like everyone expected in a college football bracket.
what U of A moves on? I'd probably go Wildcats, man.
Yeah, again, Arkansas is only in the Sweet 16 because Luke Fickell coaches Wisconsin.
100%. Next one's really awesome.
This is the one. This is honestly conceivably could be like a national championship game.
Number 11 Texas versus number 7 Miami.
I'm gonna let you answer first because I think you know where I'm leaning.
I would probably. This is very close. This is like one's gonna win it 5 times out of 5, 5 out of 5 and 5, not 5 out of 5, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
I can't do the math. I think the talent's about the same. I think really the biggest thing is I just trust Mario a little bit more in a tough spot than I do Sark.
So my counterpoint to that would be, what big spot have we seen Darian Mensah in?
That's true. What's big spot have we seen Arch Manning succeed in either?
Texas A&M, the bowl game against Michigan.
I mean,
Again, this is
Jerry Minson
splitting
beat
hairs.
Virginia. Jerry Minson beat Virginia. I don't know.
That's different. But no, we can go Miami. Like you said, I do think this is like five, like they're winning 50-50 on this one. So like I'm fine going with Miami.
The reason I would probably do this also is like they got to play one more game, so maybe they're a
Yeah.
little more tired.
Very fair. Very fair.
I
I
think
like where
that's
your head's at there.
okay. Georgia versus Texas Tech. This is I want this playoff game so badly. Um, I mean, I'm not going to be a homer, but I would take Georgia here.
Yeah, I would take Georgia as well. Until I see Brennan Sorsby like really elevate Texas Tech, they're still going to be a step below Georgia.
All right, and then we got SMU versus Kentucky.
I think Smooth's moving on, man.
Yeah, so our Elite Eight right now, we've got for the East Regional, we got Ohio State versus Louisville.
hmm
In the South Regional, we got Clemson versus Texas A&M. In the West, we got Arizona versus Miami. And then in the Midwest, we've got Georgia versus SMU.
Damn right we do.
All right. So who's winning the East between Ohio State and Louisville in the Lincoln Kineholz Bowl?
Lincoln Kineholz, but no, Ohio State's winning this one for sure.
Yes, Ohio State wins very easily.
Yeah,
All right, in the South between Clemson and Texas A&M, I would go Texas A&M pretty heavily.
I would go Texas A&M too. I just would like to say that if this were an actual football game that we were about to watch, I would probably pick Clemson because that's the exact type of game that Texas A&M just falls flat on its face. But like, if we're just doing this on who's the better team, like Texas A&M is very clearly the better team
I
here.
would agree. Arizona versus Miami.
I think Miami's got this one locked up.
And even more so, Georgia versus SMU.
Georgia might have the dub there.
All right. So we did that. Timestamp now.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to our final four. I don't even know where the final four is this year, but it's somewhere.
God, I used to know. Indianapolis.
Well, Georgia won a national championship there, so that bodes well for us, but I don't know if they're going to do it here. You've got your final four teams in the tournament.
I mean, honestly, this like if I just showed someone this Final Four, they'd be like, "Oh, did you do this by college football teams?"
You got Ohio State versus Texas A&M and Miami versus Georgia. God, these are good matchups.
Hell yeah, they are. Okay, Ohio State A&M. What do you think?
It's got to be Ohio State because I don't think A&M is going to win like multiple games in a row like this.
No, I don't either. And like, I think Ryan Day is more prepared for that spot than Mike Elko, quite frankly.
All right, and I'll let you pick the next one because I could go either way here. So like it doesn't
God,
bother me.
this is another 50-50 one too, because like both I have a ton of respect for both these teams. I think both these teams are really good. I'm gonna use some of your logic and some of mine. I'm gonna look at the fact I think Georgia and Texas are pretty like if you're just looking on paper going into the season, they're pretty neck and neck atop the SEC. We have Miami beating Texas. So by that logic, I'm gonna have them also advancing past Georgia because like if Miami's upside is that real, which I do think it is, like, but I think Miami can get it done here. And like I also think that as much as we saw Gunnar Stockton progress with the personnel that Georgia has, I do wonder against this Miami defense, against this coaching staff, if they can like if being a little one-dimensional would catch them.
And I think that's probably why I would have landed Miami anyway.
Yeah.
As far as good as Kirby is, he's going to get let down by Mike Bobo and especially Clint Schumann in this game because Miami still employs Shannon Dawson and Corey Heatherman, and that matters.
It absolutely coordinators matter, man. That honestly, if we ever get false start merch, coordinators matter might be the first shirt we make.
Yeah, it's all about coordinators.
Coordinators
And,
matter.
and the coordinators are definitely going to matter in this national championship game, a rematch of the 2002 national championship between Ohio State and Miami.
I'm going Miami, dude. I think Mario Cristobal just puts Ryan Day in a sleeper hold.
I think it's also untrodden territory a little bit for Arthur Smith and to
Mhm.
some degree Matt Patricia. This is a little bit different, and I think if Mario wins this, he takes Ryan Day's spot as third best coach in college football.
I think he I think Mario Cristobal is developing into a better coach than Ryan Day. So I think that's probably why I'm leaning Miami there. So congrats to the Miami Hurricanes,
It's
are the false start national
start.
championship champion, excuse me.
I had no idea they were going to win this coming in.
Brother, I barely looked at the bracket. Like I had nothing coming into this.
I had a feeling like Ohio State might do it. Like that was the
Yeah.
team that I thought like would be really good. Didn't expect Georgia to get that far, and then the ones where it's like Wisconsin's like going to be in the Sweet 16. Like, are you kidding me? This is so stupid. Why are
We
we
can't
putting our?
we can't put Wisconsin in there, so we have to put dog ass Arkansas in the Sweet 16.
I think last year we had what Clemson beating Iowa State.
Which I still think Clemson would have beat Iowa State last year. So I feel confident. Whether or not they would have made it to the national championship, neither here nor there.
I think the first year I think we had Florida get in the Final Four, and they did pretty
I think that's
good.
right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm not sure either of the like I wouldn't particularly fill out your actual March Madness bracket this way because I don't see any of our Final Four teams really making it out of the first weekend, if we're being quite honest.
If you had to pick one to get to the Final Four, who would it be?
I'm got no offense to you. I'm probably gonna eliminate the dogs just because I think Michigan's really damn
Yeah,
good. My Miami is not like the worst pick because like I think they can beat Missouri. Purdue is Purdue when it comes to March. And like I never trust Purdue when it comes to March. Then like at best or at worst, you're playing Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. I think you could potentially like upset the Zags there. So like there's a clear path for Miami. Ohio State, I frankly just don't think is a good basketball team, and they're
No,
on the same in the same region as Duke, so like that's not a very favorable thing.
yeah, they got Duke and UConn. I don't trust Arizona. I don't believe in them at all.
Yeah, I think it's probably Miami that has like like of these paths, like the most realistic path.
I do think with A&M, Bucky Ball can mess with some teams there, and the problem is you got to play Houston in round two.
Yeah, like you want to talk about ball that can mess with teams' head. A Kelvin Sampson coach team will mess with your head for sure.
And they got to deal with Florida. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
that's
not
that's
great.
that's not great at all. And on that note, let's move on to our second half of our show with guys remembering tournaments.
Tournaments. Shout out Rick Pitino.
Shout out Rick Pitino. Shout out Jay Wright.
That's right.
Um,
If you're from the Northeast, you're born to coach college basketball, just so you can say tournament.
I know, man. So I guess like we'll talk about like obviously you grew up in the heart of it with tobacco, right? So this is probably part of your life, but longer than me. But like some favorite tournaments or runs or stuff that you remember. I- I'll get started with my first one, the one that I
Yeah.
remember the most. I remember Tom Izzo's first and only national championship in the 2000 with Mateen Cleaves. I thought Mateen Cleaves was the coolest dude ever because he was like doing the peace sign with the net and everything. I didn't understand why he wasn't that good in the NBA, but like he was a legend to me.
Dude, I loved Mateen Cleaves. That's a really good one, and I had to make some tough cuts. I will say I only have one North Carolina memory on here because otherwise it could have just done a lot of those. But I do remember that Michigan State run fondly, and like honestly to this point, I think a lot of people our age remember that run, and like it's the reason Michigan State hasn't won Jack S since 2001. So like just saying.
No. And then his nephew went to Georgia with me, went to my rival high school. He's on the Vanderbilt staff.
I didn't know that. Okay. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
His dad was like looked like Larry David would dribble the hell out of a basketball, scream at kids. I was telling Connor Downey about that. Like this is a core memory for me at Dodge in middle school.
Hell yes. That's sick. Um,
Um, so
I've got
uh,
one the year after that'll tie nicely into this. I remember that Maryland team with like Juan Dixon and those guys. Steve Blake, I believe, was on that team as well.
Chris Wilcox, Uncle Gary Williams, the
Yeah, Uncle
coach.
Gary, man. And like I remember that team just being a hell of a lot of fun and like they played it was just a fun brand of basketball as a like I played guard. Obviously I'm 5'9". What the hell else was I going to play? But like I played guard when I played basketball and like it was a really guard led team with Wilcox in the center there like kind of anchoring it and like I enjoyed that brand of basketball. More importantly than anything though, I do you remember back when like Pepsi and Mountain Dew used to do like you can win a jersey under the cap?
Yeah.
I picked them. I was at a timeshare in the Outer Banks when I was like 10 or 11 years old. And I unscrewed my Mountain Dew and it had Maryland right after they had won the tournament. So I got a North Carolina jersey because Maryland won a 2002 national championship.
Let's go. They beat Indiana with Jared Jeffries, puffed with pride. Or
100%.
that was the last time Indiana was worth a damn in basketball.
Honestly, not long after was the last time Maryland was worth a damn in basketball.
They were really bad this past year. Their coach left for Villanova.
Yeah, 100%. Which I mean didn't work out for either program. That's a real lose-lose situation there.
So I'll preface this saying like growing up, I'm the son of transplants. My parents were for like not from the Southeast. So
Yeah.
when I was in the 90s, the Hawks were good. And in the 2000s, they were awful. Like
Mhm.
my the NBA kind of fell out of favor with that. I liked Dirk Nowitzki, I liked Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, kind of a Magic fan at that point too.
Yeah.
But like I grew up. I liked a lot of the ACC teams. Like Georgia Tech was really good. I liked the battles that Duke and North Carolina would have as well. UConn was at the peak of its powers. Oklahoma State kind of had a moment. So, and then obviously Kansas. I remember the '03 year, the final one where I think they lost to Syracuse in Jim
Yeah.
Boeheim's only tournament.
Yeah, 100%.
Kansas team had what Kirk Heinrich and Nick Collison, and
Hmm.
one of my best friends at the time was a big KU guy. His parents went there, and we were really sad watching that game break down.
It's always tough when you go over to a buddy's house and except in my, well, I'll get there in a second, but like, it's always tough when you go to a buddy's house and like, you watch a tournament, you're watching the tournament or any game, doesn't even have to be college basketball. And like, they're a fan of the team that's getting their ass kicked. And it's just like, you don't really know what to say. You're just like, can I have some more like buffalo chicken dip? And like, that's all you really got.
Speaking of a team that hasn't been good since then, Georgia Tech losing in '04 to UConn.
Yeah, 100%. Jim
What
Calhoun, man.
Jim Calhoun, Emeka Okafor, Ben Gordon, Charlie Villanueva was on that team.
Yeah, he was.
Georgia Tech had what? BJ Elder at shooting guard, Jared Jack at point, Luke Shinsher down low.
Jarrett Jack, what a guy.
Ishmael Muhammad couldn't do anything except dunk. Paul Hewitt, the year after Chris Bosh went to the pros, I
Yeah.
thought Georgia Tech was going to be here to stay.
They've struggled a lot.
They've been just I don't even know what to do. Just have like Mark Price run the team, man. I don't know what to do.
I feel like one of honestly Georgia Tech's biggest problems is that they've tried to outsmart themselves when it comes to coaching. Like Josh Pastner doesn't fit at Georgia Tech.
No, he's a dork and it should work, but it doesn't.
Yeah, like I mean, like Paul Hewitt was somewhat of a dork, but he also had like a old school hard ass approach to it as well.
Yeah, just the allure of Bobby Crimmins just it hangs over in McCamish.
100%. You need an old school hard ass is really what it comes down to.
Bruce Pearl, come on down.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's already working for Turner, man. He's not just a move. Are you kidding?
He's still going to be lobbying for Auburn.
Um, what other teams? Maybe you want to talk about your North Carolina one.
Yeah, so if I had to narrow it down, Hansborough finally winning a Natty in '09 is probably like the biggest one. And like that's loosely my childhood. I was 17 years old at the time, but like Hansborough's are like if you're talking just North Carolina is the greatest North Carolina basketball player of all time. And like having such an accomplished career, like bookended with a national championship, like that's something as a Carolina fan that's always going to be super special to me. And it wasn't just Hansborough, that team was really damn good too on top of that. So like it was just that was a really fun year of basketball, especially like my last year in high school in North Carolina on Tobacco Road, like being able to hold it over my friends and be like, hey, check this out, everything that we've ever said about Tyler Hansborough was true. He's a national champion. Y'all can suck it.
Um, I mean, I remember the '05 team where they
Mm,
with Rashad McCants, Raymond Felton, and Sean May down low, and
mhm.
Licorice Stick, Marvish Williams, who sucked for the Hawks. What a terrible pick that was.
Hey,
The guy
he also sucked for the Hornets too, so that we share a mutual interest there.
he has one effing brain cell.
There's
Could have had
there's
Chris
no
Paul. Could have had Darren Williams, who played for with Luther Hood for Illinois. Worst pick ever, man.
oh God. I mean, Carolina's had a lot of guys, especially that era, because that's the faking class era. So like there are a lot of people who have one brain cell that came through Chapel Hill.
That's true. I don't really have a lot of great ones with Georgia. I guess the two that probably stand out was like the '08 team. Like there was a
Mhm.
tornado in Atlanta and they won the SEC and they got like the 14th seed. I'm like, they're gonna do it. Like I think like Dave Bliss or whatever his name is, like
Yeah.
he's like the assistant onto Dagenham on the Thunder. So he was the best player on that
Hell
team.
yeah. Hell
Den-
yes.
Dennis Felton's like, I'm gonna get fired at. What am I doing here? But the one Georgia team, 2015,
Oh,
Mark
hell
Fox's
yes.
best team.
Hell yeah.
Uh, JJ Frazier, but the best was Nemanja Jurisic, the
Mm.
the Montenegrin songbird. He put in the program. It's like, what are
The
your hobbies?
Montenegrin song.
He says, I like to sing songs for our native homeland. Just the funniest dude ever. He was so,
Oh,
uh,
God,
love
that's good.
I love me Nemanja Jurisic.
Oh,
Uh,
that makes me happy. I only had one other one on here, and it was 98 Arizona. I have a you know how like sometimes like I'm of course we have a segment on this show called Guys Remember and Dudes, and this is a spin-off of that. Mike Bibby is like inexplicably one of my favorite basketball players of all time. I love Mike Bibby. Whether it was with the Grizzlies, whether it was with the Kings, like Mike Bibby was just a guy I always loved. And so him like helping lead Arizona to a national championship with Lute Olson, like I think that's the reason I like Mike Bibby as much as I do is I remember watching that tournament and like Arizona hasn't been necessarily the same since. Like they've had runs, but not quite as successfully. And like, yeah, I have a lifelong love for Mike Bibby because of that team.
he was the starting point guard in the We Believe Nothing Easy Hawks,
100%.
carrying a bum ass Al Horford to a playoff berth. You can go to hell, dude.
We used in high school we used to play 2K, NBA 2K quite a bit, like me and my buddies, and like we would get together and what we would do is we'd just draft teams with like rules about how you had to draft, and it was like you get 190, you get 380s, and your other starter has to be in the 70s, and then we would do like a some sort of randomizer for your sixth man. And my guy in the 70s was always Mike Bibby because he could just shoot like his top of the key 3-point shooting was lethal. And like I would make my friends very angry hanging like 30 on him with Mike Bibby.
We used to do the same thing with NHL, but the problem is if you got the Devils, it wasn't fair because you had more 10 per day, and it wasn't
Yeah,
fair.
100%. The brick, you had a brick wall in front of the
Yeah,
goal.
you couldn't score on him. But I guess the last one I'll talk about is, this was when I was in college here. Obviously, it's taught you talk about the two Butler teams there with Brad
Hmm.
Stevens there with Gordon Hayward losing to Duke, on a buzzer beater that he missed from like
Hmm.
half court. I
Yeah.
remember watching that on like a sheet, like in a tarp in the front yard of my fraternity house, and we're just like, I can't believe Butler's going to do this, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, dude, it was I watched that game. See, I watched that game in the clubhouse of my apartment complex because they had like a watch party. And so like I went down there and there were a lot of Duke fans and I had been talking a whole lot of shit the entire day. And so that missed buzzer beater was tough for me.
And then the next season, Butler went back, but they ran into Kimball Walker, which I don't think we've ever seen a player like going around like him. I don't think like Will Howard kind of did this a little bit in the playoff
Hmm.
2 years
Yeah.
ago, but Kimba was just on a whole other level, dude.
Dude, I mean, like Kimba's a hell of a player. I'll always have a soft spot for Kimba, not just because of watching him as a college basketball fan at UConn, but obviously was with the Bobcats and Hornets for quite a while. Was the only good thing about those teams for quite a while, if I'm being honest. And a lot of love for Kimba.
Who is your favorite like Hornets Bobcats player of all time?
My favorite of all time, honestly, it's probably Kimba. Like just because like between like longevity and like success, individual success, there's we don't get to talk about team success as a Charlotte Hornets, Charlotte Bobcats fan. So like all time, like it's probably there because like you could look back at like Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson, or yeah, Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning and like those guys, but like I was so formative in my NBA fandom that like I didn't really latch on to those guys in the same way as I did the other guys. Like going back to like my youth, like I remember Emmitt Smith. He's one of my favorite Cowboys of all time, but like I was still very formative when Emmitt Smith was in his prime. And like I probably someone who I did watch in his prime who wasn't a Cowboy. Randy Moss is one of my probably a higher like favorite football player than Emmitt Smith, just because I watched more of it.
Well, that's how I feel about like LaDainian Tomlinson and Michael Strahan from like another perspectives. It's the same
Yeah.
sort of thing, but like formative years, Hawks, like obviously Mookie Blaylock was a big deal. Steve
Mhm.
Smith, love me some Steve Smith, Spud Webb. I always think very highly of you hate this, but like Christian Laettner on the Hawks was really good, so he was a good guy for them. But there's been other Hawks players from Duke, like Sheldon Williams. Cousin Sheldon wasn't good for us. Probably my favorite Hawk player, the guy that I loved me some Paul Millsap, but Jeff Teague was the heart, dude. Jeff
Dude,
Teague.
have you ever watched like Jeff Teague's podcast clips now? It's some of the
Yeah.
best content on the internet.
He's the dude, he's like the AJ Hawk of the NBA,
He
man.
really, except he speaks. Other than, that's the other thing.
Yeah, I know, that's what it is. I'm really excited to create new memories here. I mean, I guess the last ones I really remember from the tournament really, obviously the Wisconsin and Kentucky with the really good Cal team that didn't win it all, and then you had what it was uh, Devin Booker, Carl Anthony Towns, Willie
Carl
Cauley
Anthony
Stein,
Towns, yeah, that team. Oh God,
and then
I forgot about Willie Cauley Stein existing.
the Wisconsin team had Frank Kaminsky the third and Sam
Speaking of
Decker.
not my favorite Bobcat slash Hornet, Frank Kaminsky. Jesus Christ.
He had a cup of coffee with the Hawks. He wasn't as bad, but that's okay.
He was real bad in Charlotte. My most recent memory is of course Carolina and Caleb Love ending Coach K's career.
That's fine too. I've got some stuff to say about it too here in a little bit in a thing, but that's okay. I don't know. I just try to get through all this with March Madness and realize West Georgia sucks so
Yeah, I look, Georgia being an 8 seed is improvement for sure for the
bad.
Bulldogs.
Yeah,
So
gonna lose
and
to
like it's a fun team, man.
the ghost of Rick Majerus is gonna come out there and just scare Mike White. You want to eat a pancake?
Oh God, we should do a Mike White power rankings at some point.
Ned Schneebly. All right. And on that note, let's move on to our penultimate topic here today with under further review. New thing. It's going to be hard of the off season. We watch different TV shows and movies. I don't read, you do, but that's okay.
I don't read as much as I should, but yeah, I do read on occasion.
All right, what are you in the NC State podcast watching or watched of late?
We're real big. I like this is the easy number one with a bullet. Shrinking on Apple TV with Harrison Ford, Jason Segel. Phenomenal show, man. It's the perfect blend of like very like sentimentally dramatic. Like it hits all the right like touchstones in terms of emotion, but also like you've got Jason Segel in it, so it's pretty damn funny. You've got Harrison Ford in it, doing honestly at his age like some very impressive like acting and like very good sentimentality. Couldn't recommend it enough. Like it's digestible. I think like longest episode you're gonna see outside of like a premiere is like 40 minutes. So like it's not something where you're gonna be sitting there for an hour and a half each time. It's a really damn good TV show.
Well, I haven't watched it yet, mostly because we don't have Apple going right now because
Mhm.
Severance is now.
Yeah, 100%. I get it, dude. Anyone who says that about Apple TV shows that I recommend, I fully get it.
So we got the Hulu working. That's what we're doing
Hell
now.
yeah. Hell yeah.
So I would say like the last three shows that we've watched a good bit of. We watched we finished up Schitt's Creek not that long ago. We watched a little bit of Veep, kind of my first foray into that, and we just finished up the third season of Fargo.
Hell yeah.
You've seen the first two seasons. You've seen all of
Mhm,
Schitt's Creek. You've
mhm.
seen
We also just finished up a Schitt's Creek rewatch as well.
and you've seen the first two seasons of Fargo. So okay, let's talk some Schitt's Creek. Let's do it.
100%, dude. God, I like, first off, I do want to say that I think Schitt's Creek and particularly David is like the most gifable like character on TV like in modern memory because like I can't tell you how many times per week I send like a GIF reaction to someone via text and it's just David saying something. Like someone asked me if I wanted to go see a movie this weekend and I sent him David going, "Hi, me." And so like he's just the most gifable person in the entire world.
He's simply the best, man.
That's right.
I started watching it after when Catherine O'Hara passed away,
Yeah, RIP.
and just the way that like she talks, just I was watching the Crow movie. It's like the female version of Buster Bluth, and it's just
Hell yeah.
so decadent. It's like the Canadian version of Arrested Development almost.
And like she takes chewing on words to like a new level that I've like not seen before, honestly. Like it's honestly like more outlandish than Buster Blues. Like it truly
Yeah,
is.
and obviously we know Eugene Levy from like American Pie predominantly.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
it's Jim's dad, and now
It's
there's
perfectly natural, you know?
perfect. We all remember where James Emmanuel Leviston came from.
That's right.
It's perfectly natural. We'll tell your mama we ate it. Dude, he's so good. It's like Johnny Rose. He,
Oh
he
my
only
God.
only wears suits.
100%, man. He's dapper at every turn.
And then Chris Elliott is Roland. Just born. He was born like he wasn't born in his birthday suit. He was born in a Canadian tuxedo.
100%, man. He's like, I was actually talking about it when we started our rewatch. Like, honestly, in the first like the first season, he's so cringeworthy that it's almost hard to watch. And like, it's intentional to be clear. Like, it's setting the character perfectly up, but like, it's hard to watch at a couple of points where you're just like, oh my God, this person can't really like can't be real.
No, he couldn't. He's like the mayor because it's his family's town, and he's like basically just cuts grass. That's what he does. He,
100%.
he
Don't
just
worry,
he,
it's his sister.
dude, and then so I gotta touch on Fargo. I gotta touch on so
100% hit it, man.
so it's the first time the Arizona State podcast has watched the first two seasons. So I've watched all three before, all the way through the first three, all the way through twice.
Nice.
Halfway through four, haven't seen season five, even though I know Joe Keery's in it, and
Hell yeah.
check that out. Um, the just when I was applying back in the day when I was for a job here with Minute Media and Fansided
Yeah.
for like an editor role, they overlooked me. I'm like, name a couple of sites we should do. I'm like, we should do a Fargo site called wellokaythen.com. Oh, jeez.
Wellokaythen.com. Holy hell, that's so good.
Like, I just feel bad for the cops, the cop ladies. Just like the guy is just so just some dipshit from Minnesota doesn't listen to them. They're right every time.
100%, man. I mean, it's like it's a great movie too, obviously based on the 96, I believe it was,
Yeah.
film. But like, man, the show might actually it's definitely as good of the movie as the movie, if not better.
So like the original movie came out in 96, it's set in like 87.
Hmm.
First season came out in like 14, and it's set in like
Hmm.
'06.
Yeah, 100%.
The second season came out in like, God, I don't know,
I
like
want to say like 16.
16, and then it's set in like 79.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean it's all over the place.
And the third season set in 10. It's 2010, came out in like 16. It's sort of cast every time, and you just have some heavy hitters. Like the first season's got Billy Bob Thornton, this is a
Hmm.
psychopath, Martin Freeman,
Yeah,
uh,
dude.
the there's some other characters in there too. Like I've totally forgot Ted Danson's in the second season.
Ted Danson's honestly like in this like in like the post like post like 2005 era of his career, he's just the guy that just like pops up and you're delighted to see it every time.
Patrick Wilson plays another version of a superhero in the second one, so he's not Night Owl. He's Detective Lou Silverson.
Yes, yes, he is.
But the third season, which I do, if you do see it, Ewan McGregor plays twins.
Oh, hell yeah. Love that.
And then Remus Lupin, David Thewlis is like the bad guy.
Ooh, okay. I might have to check out season 3 then.
Yeah, he it's very good. And then Mary Elizabeth Winstead's like the is in the second one. Apparently, like she is with Ewan McGregor
Is that
still from,
is that Scott Pilgrim?
yeah.
Okay, 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 okay. I'm with you now. We're here. And
And the
yeah,
second
she
one,
is with Ewan McGregor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the second one, that's how Jesse Plemons met Kirsten Dunst.
You told me that like pre-show one time, and that I did not realize that was how they met. I knew they were together. Jesse Plemons is like he's like he gets all his flowers nowadays as an actor, but like if you just go and like look at his roles, it's just like the biggest amalgamation of random crap. Like and not crap like in like terms of quality, just like how did you get the casting call for Game Night and then also for Fargo season 2? Like they're just and then also, oh hey, you were in Friday Night Lights. Hey, you were in like he's just in so much stuff. Like Civil War, like he's just all over the place.
I don't know how this is profitable for free to
I
play.
can't how can that possibly be?
Um, oh, dude, then the wrenching numbers. The drum kick just goes.
Honestly, truly one of the best actors of our time. I'll stand by it.
100%. Anything else you watch or saying you want to talk about?
I'm 100% sure you don't watch this because I might be one of the only people who does. One of the things the starters might not know about me, I love mythology. I took mythology classes in college. Percy Jackson, season 2, it just came out in the past couple months. I love like blending mythology with like the real world. And is it a children's show? Absolutely. Do I watch every episode? Absolutely. Because I just like I get sucked in by it. I like mythology. I like the drama of gods being messy individuals. Like that's just fun to me.
That's what it's all about. Isn't that the one where like Jason Mantzoukas plays like
Yeah,
Dionysus?
Dionysus. Yeah, man. He's the god of wine. It's great. Except he's cursed because he can't drink wine.
Oh, that sucks, dude. And then, well, that's educational. I do watch a lot of trash TV, given who I'm engaged to.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Watched the new season of Traders.
Mhm.
Really good, really good. One really good trader, and some of the worst traders ever. Like they had a this is the season that had a Michael Rappaport on
Yeah, I
it.
remember you telling me that because like I've not watched Traders and I've been told by you and several others that I really need to.
This other season had a Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski on there, which I don't think is like any coincidence because NBC had the Olympics and everything.
Yeah, 100%.
One of these episodes, they're eating in the castle, and Michael Rappaport doesn't know how to use a spoon. He takes like his plate and starts just shuffling it in his mouth, like it's off, like it's hamburger helper off of a frisbee. And I'm like, "Are you 5 years old?"
He is, yes, mentally for sure.
I know we've all been there at some point there, but that was under further review. We'll definitely touch on that later on with other things that we watch. I know there's things I need to watch Shrinking. You need to watch Righteous Gemstones.
100%. I do need to watch Righteous Gemstones. The NC State podcast is about to leave for a week, so I might throw on the Righteous Gemstones because she's already seen it, and so like that's one of the reasons why I haven't watched it is she's not ready to watch it again, and we watch a lot of TV together.
Well, I'm gonna have to probably watch Succession here this spring, so that's what we're gonna be doing.
Hell yeah, brother.
And on that note, let's get on to here with our last topic today with some local scouting report. Cody went to Colorado to do some Lord of the Rings Hobbit stuff, and I went to a tea party.
Oh God. All right. So I'll start with where this Hobbit house was in Colorado. It was right outside of a little town called Crestone. If you've never heard of Crestone, no one has. There's no one there. We looked up the population. It's less than 1,000 people. It's some like little small hole in the wall. What we didn't know about this place when we booked the Airbnb, because we just booked it because it was a Hobbit house. Like we wanted to go stay in a Hobbit house. That's what we went and did. And turns out this is like a really spiritual community. And like all that's there is like different denominations, churches, one like coffee house restaurant that's connected to the one grocery store in the town, and then like a bunch of like hiking that leads to like very spiritual places. Let me tell you, you meet some characters when you're in a place like this getting a coffee. Like there was one lady in the coffee shop. We stayed there for a night, and like the next morning we're getting our coffee and some breakfast, and she is just sitting there like talking to some man the entire time about like spirituality and like not any like denominational religion or anything like that, just like spirituality at large. And like I felt dumber after the conversation. She leaves and I look at the guy and I was like, and he like has this look on his face like I could just read the look. I can't like really describe it. And I was like, I was like, do you know her? And he goes, no, absolutely not. I've never met her before in my life. And I was like, oh my God. Like she literally talked to him for like 30 minutes. And I just couldn't believe, I don't know how anyone could live in a spiritual community like that. I just don't get it.
I mean, are they doing like peyote or DMT and really finding God that way? Probably not.
I think the visitors are, I don't think the residents are.
So you went back into your Hobbit house and had second and third breakfast and stayed away from the grocery store as long.
100%, brother. We didn't even use the grocery store.
It's not on Walden Pond, it's on Walden Mound.
100%, dude.
Oh man. Um uh I want to share mine. This is a long-winded
Hell
one,
yeah.
so I'll just say this. So one of our friends, it's their birthday and they wanted to have a tea party. So the Arizona State Podcast and I on Saturday drove up there from Virginia Island to Buckhead. This is also the day of the calendar year when all the whites do St. Patrick's Day.
As the whites do.
We pull out onto Highland. We're like, this is going to be a day, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah. Let's just keep going. We go up there, and it's like a 20-minute drive. We're dressed in like our Sunday best, even though we don't go to church. That's just how this goes.
Yeah.
We make like a left turn onto like East Paces, and her car starts making a weird noise
Mm.
about 80% of the way there. And I'm like, this is giving me some PTSD from my days with my car, which I had to, put down. So we're going up there in like a 96 RAV4 into this high tea place in Buckhead, and like valet only. I'm like, I felt so underclass. I felt like one of the twins that Ewan McGregor plays in Fargo.
Hell yeah.
We go up there and we're like, I'm like, Rosemary, do we have to make like a reservation for this? And she's like, nah, this place doesn't do reservations. We go in there and a guy who talks like this, do you have a reservation?
Oh God.
And I'm like, no. I was like, we'll be about 45 minutes there.
45.
So we're sitting out there waiting and everything like that. I look in the dining room. There's not an effing soul there with the Y chromosome, man.
Of course there's not.
Yeah, it's me and like another 30-year-old guy, this maitre d' and a bunch of girls having tea parties. So we're sitting out there just trying to figure this out, waiting for our time to go. I'm gradually working off my PTSD from this car thing.
Right.
Um, we see this group of like we'll say a dozen preteens between 11 and 14 years old.
Mm.
and it was clearly somebody's birthday party, and I can hear behind me, it's like, "You're not going to slap me, are you?" She's like, "Yes, I am." Slaps one of the girls in the face, and the girl who got slapped in the face has a walking boot on there. And her mom was like, did she mean to do this?" Like, "She did it on purpose." She said, "I wouldn't do it. It was a bet." So they're about to take a picture in front of this place. This girl's like a red mark on her face.
In a walking boot.
And then the stretch limo comes in because they want to be seen in this. So it wasn't the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was the Real Skull Girls of Buckhead.
Honestly, one's a prequel. Let's be clear.
You know, that's I don't know what high school Lisa run I went to, but yeah, sure.
It's for sure a prequel. I guarantee it.
All right, let's what you got?
So one of the reasons we chose this specific Hobbit house in Colorado was because it had a hot tub. Who doesn't like a hot tub? Especially one that, after you gauge that it's well taken care of and properly cleaned and works, you want to go get in the hot tub. So first thing we did when we got there on Saturday evening was get in the hot tub, of course. And we were in there for like 2 hours. Great night, relaxing under, perfect temperature for it. I think it was like low 50s. So like it's not too freezing, but like the hot tub feels really good. We're about an hour into this, and the thing about this Hobbit house is it's actually two Hobbit houses. There's one, and then there's like another level, and then there's another one up there. And you can book them individually, you can book them together if you have a big party, but we obviously booked them individually. This guy comes walking around the side, and he like is just like looking at the property, and then he sees us in the hot tub, and he goes, "Oh God, I'm so sorry." And we're like, "Brother, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, we just came back from a hot springs that's clothing optional, and I like assumed that you were naked in the hot tub, and I didn't want to like invade your privacy." And I was like, "Nah, dude, we're fully clothed. Like you can keep your eyes open. I don't know, like whatever." And then he was like, "These places are sick." And like, he kept trying to make it less awkward, but it wasn't going to get any less awkward.
Probably the day you're in the hot tub, I came across that clip of the late great Jerry Springer playing Arthur Spooner, and they had a hot tub, and Doug and Carrie Heffernan are like, "Why is it 108 degrees?" And you're just like, "It's a sauna. I'm not wearing clothes." Yeah.
It's a sauna. Oh
Uh,
God, King of Queens is a good show, man.
it's unbelievable. It's supposed to be a spin-off of Everybody Loves Raymond, but like they completely made a different character
A
instead of
100%, yeah.
Kevin James. All right. So I think 2 weekends ago, we went to like a bar across the street from us.
Mhm.
It's the one where people come from like not where I live here. Like the people that are in Buckhead come here and they party there at 11 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
We refer to it as an F-boy factory because it's kind of
That
that,
tracks.
that tracks. So we go there, and I'll preface this, so, like, this is when the Duke UNC games going on in
Mhm.
the tournament. And I'll say this, like, you're a cool dude, you're a new UNC fan. There's probably cool people out there who aren't UNC fans.
Yeah.
There's cool people out there's not cool people who are UNC fans, and there are not cool people who aren't UNC fans. I used to use that analogy with my college roommate about smoking weed. I'm like, dude, just because I smoke weed doesn't mean they're cool, man. They can be
No,
awful.
100%. There's a lot of awful people out there.
We were sitting next to the dorkiest of dorky North Carolina fans. Like it can get that way a little bit. And you've also seen some just pure trash Georgia fans. Like it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know the
Oh,
dichotomy here.
dude, I went to high school with some really dorky North Carolina fans who everyone would assume we were friends because we were both big UNC fans. And I was like, no, 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 no. Don't get this twisted.
You know how like that ESPN commercial or that about like the they're trying to get the doctor, the Naismith doctor, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the guy like can't contain himself. He's like John Rothstein singing like rock chalk to himself there. Just that kind of raging effing dork. And
Oh God.
I'm over there at the Arizona State podcast. We're trying to eat some chicken fingers and pizza. I'm slightly getting missed on. It's like, okay, let's eat this up and get away from them. And then we
Yeah.
go inside, have like another like Guinness because that's what we're drinking now.
Hell yeah.
Uh, and like as we're finishing up, there's a guy over there that thinks he recognizes me. Turns out it's my old fraternity brother I haven't seen in 20 years.
Hell yeah. How's he doing?
Pretty good. He's like John, right? Yeah, it's John Buhler. Yeah, that's who you are here. And we were talking, and it was date night with him and his wife. Shout out Matt if you're listening.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Shout out, Matt.
A little they're having a good time here, and just talking with like the Arizona State podcast and everything. This is the guy that taught me, you have to have your beer in your hand and you have to catch it with your right hand against your body so you can't spill your beer.
I like that. I mean, that's just sound logic.
It's like it doesn't matter how good it looks when you catch it, how good you throw it. You don't let that beer on the ground because that means
No,
you lost.
100%. You can't lose. That's the biggest thing.
So I know he's like a lawyer, does really well like that. And as we're walking back, there's no state podcast like this guy's a couple years old and even everything like that. What's kind of his deal? Like that was the smartest man my chapter ever had. This guy was a genetics major, went to Harvard Law.
Oh my God.
It's like, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing in my neck of the woods here, man?
Dude, I took a genetics class in college. Not shocking anyone. I'm horrible at science, was throughout most of my like education. And they were like, you can take bio 101 or genetics like 258 or something. And I was like, well, I almost failed bio in high school, so I'm probably just going to take genetics because I know how to do an effing Punnett square. It was a little bit more intense than that. But I will never forget one genetics fact that I learned in that class. There are people, and I'm one of these people, that if you go from like a dark or darker room or like a not a naturally lit room and you walk into sunshine, I sneeze every single time. That's a genetic trait. And like it's passed down as a recessive gene. I had no idea until this class. I thought I was just like allergic to the sun.
Well, you don't have dark eyes, and which is the same thing with me. That's
Yeah.
probably why. But anyway, like this guy is probably I would say he's the smartest man to live in Alabama since Dr. Werner Van Braun, but at least since Tim Cook.
It's been a minute. It's been a
It's
minute.
it's been a minute here. You got anything else to get us out of here? Or is that it?
No, man, we're good. We're cooked.
And on that note, this was episode 259 of False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter at X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at the Sizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. Really helps the show grow. We got 54 subscribers now. Didn't see who it was, but if you did, I'll give you a shout out next show. We're really getting there. We're one away from 55.
God, we're gonna Hagar so hard. It's gonna be great.
And after we get to 55, can we get to 69, please?
100%. We just skip 67, please, God.
Yeah, just 67. Skip 28-3, please. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Also not shout out Elijah Wilkinson with like the worst exit of a team I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's gonna be shown in PR firms on how not to handle it.
And you can watch me talk about that on Wednesday on the Blog Nerdy podcast. I'll go into detail with that on the punt segment.
100%. You probably got a lot to say, I would imagine.
And on that note, let's make a big pick here real quick. I know you got to fill our bracket. Is there anybody you kind of like to win March Madness this year? I know we picked Miami here with the college football one, but who do you think could win it this year?
I I kind of alluded to it earlier. I really like Michigan, man. I think this Michigan team is special. And like I've watched, like, not even trying to be Duke biased. Like, Duke is a very good team. Duke is also a very flawed team.
Yes.
Duke is a team that I don't think they necessarily have the guard play to win the national championship, and I do worry about that to some degree. Michigan, I think, is just whatever facet of the game, how whatever style you want to play, I think they're capable of playing it. And like that's kind of the mark of a team that I think is just really dangerous in March.
Yeah, if you're gonna fill out your bracket, you pick Michigan or Duke. There's a good chance you'll probably win because I think that's what like 23% chance of winning it all and 16. So that's like 40%
Yeah, I
right
mean,
there.
like if you can get 40% odds, you should probably take it.
If I had to go off the board a little bit there to be, I think there's something with Houston and Iowa State. I think that they intrigue me. Florida's damn good, but I think they're gonna run out of gas here. Don't trust UConn, and I do not trust Arizona at all.
No, you can't trust Arizona, man. I think someone was asking me about the Big 12 the other day in basketball, and like I think the Big 12 is the deepest conference in college basketball, hands down, but I think that they lack the top end quality and like they get overinflated because of that.
Yeah, it's like the SEC, whatever it is. I don't know, man. I watched a lot
Yeah.
of college basketball this year. I like it more than the NBA, man.
Oh, dude, I've liked college basketball more than the NBA for a very long time.
So your whole life, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from North Carolina. What do you expect? It's either watch the Hornets or watch college basketball. One of those is a very superior option.
Hawks have won like 9 in a row. That's
The
unbelievable.
Hornets are actually pretty good this year too. We're going to the play-in tournament, it looks like. Hell yeah.
I, I mean, how's it feel to root for like Con Knuckle, like everything like that? He's really good.
He's really I just disregard the fact that he went to Duke. Disregard the fact that Miles Bridges is an awful human being. Disregard the fact that Brandon Miller is also on this basketball team. They're good at basketball.
I don't know if we're good at basketball. I don't know if we're good at anything. We're here. This is March because this is Fall Start.